A very beautiful Tuesday afternoon from wherever you're watching. This is Jalango TV and this is Bonga na Jalans. Happy Mashujaa Day from wherever you are. Definitely everybody is in Kisii, but we are live from Miale Restaurant located in Lavington at the Convent Drive. Make sure that you can come here and grab a meal or two. But then today, I'm happy to have the Softies who are not actually Softies. The Softies who are not even Softies themselves here with me. Definitely my brother Boniface and the beautiful Njeri is here with me today so that we can discuss and talk and understand everything that is Softie. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Njeri.
Thanks for having
me. Do you know
me.
this is the first time I'm actually seeing you?
Live in person.
Live in person.
By the way, at Amini.
Yeah, this is the first time. But Boniface, I've hosted you almost in every single radio station I've been.
Yes, mukufuata sana.
Kisi ndio hujakuja maze.
Na so unajulirudi kwa the other day.
Na kama. Kwanza kabla tuendelee. Hapa tuko live na lazima ni sanitize kwanza.
Sanitize everywhere.
Unataka sanitizer ya throat?
Tuko Miale lounge.
Of course, yes. By the way, what will you guys have for lunch?
Wow.
They have their Miale special, amazing, well done chicken. They have their matumbo. They have their everything. Where's their matumbo?
Mimi nakula matumbo.
Matumbo.
I love matumbo.
Hiyo Miale special.
Miale special. Very good. They will organize. And we always thank Miale for hosting us here. And very soon tutakuja huko kwako tufanye show moja wazee.
Asante.
Wow. Softie is here.
Yes.
Softie is here. Why the name Softie na nyinyi ma Softie maze?
By the way,
tuanzie tu hapo. Kwa nini maze?
So mimi nilikuwa approved school. When I was in approved school, it was a school for hardcore, watu ambao wamefanya crimes. So everyone who came to that place either you raped or murdered, but you're a minor. So you don't go to adult jail, you go to approved school for rehabilitation. So when I went there, mimi nilikuwa Softie. Mimi sikuwa nimefanya crime yoyote. Mimi nilikuwa wote ma hardcore wanaanga Softie because I was the softest guy they knew. That mimi I wasn't a criminal. Sikuwa nimefanya kitu yote mbaya lakini nilikuwa nikigusa naanza kulia.
So kwa gaweni Softie.
Wakaniita tu Softie. So that was my school nickname. Yeah.
So this is actually your story as Softie.
Yes.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. As in, so the film gets its name from me, but the story is about us as a family. It's about this country. It's about how Kenyans are basically. Njeri is a figure story.
Njeri, story ya Softie inaanzia wapi? What is the whole story about?
This for me, you see, kila mtu anaona vile you perceive it. So for me, this story is about. As he said, it starts with him because that's who kila mtu anajua. But then as you get into this story, you slowly realize that it's not just about him. It's about we as a people. It's about our journey as Kenyans. It's about a man and his wife and his children. It's about a wife. It's about a woman as a mother, as a wife, as a citizen also.
Okay.
So ukicheki film, you see yourself, or at least that's what I hope. You see yourself as all these different roles. Alafu hopefully ningependa sana kujua mtu anajiuliza swali gani after umewatch your film.
And when you watch the film, it will make you laugh, it will make you sad, it will make you cry, and also maybe inspire you to do something because it's about the Kenyan voter. What happens behind when you're campaigning? Nakwambia Wakenya na madharau.
Wacha madharau. Definitely you got to encounter them face to face this time.
First hand.
Unapiga round starehe, wanakaa, bonika kitu kwenda kuwageka kitu ndio kwambia jagwa, mbogo on your face because you've reached to bribe them. It's about there's post-election violence in the story, about what we did. That was 2007, about 13 years ago, when Wakenya walipigana juu ya wanasiasa. It's about our history as a country. Actually, the story goes back to pre-independence.
Wow.
How Kenya was formed. And so you'll see Jomo Kenyatta in the film. You'll see Kenyatta Junior, that's Uhuru. You'll see Raila Odinga. You'll see Kibaki. It's a beautiful Kenyan story, and I hope you guys can go and watch it. Yeah.
So let me ask you, Bonnie, and this is back to you definitely. Do you want to tell me, or can you confirm that you covering the post-election violence actually gave you that strength to come out and start advocating for everything that you always stand for?
Yeah, in a way, in a great way, yes. So I was working for the Standard as a photographer, and I covered the killings, I covered the destruction, the looting, I went to the displaced people's camps, and that moved me a lot. And what broke my heart after covering all those issues was that after Kibaki and Raila shook hands, the country moved on. I was like, no, how do you move on as a country? And you just had over half a million people displaced in the country. You had over 1,000 killed. And then my biggest heart was seeing that the people that we were fighting for forgot about the victims. And neighbors turned against neighbor, women were raped, and no one spoke about their justice. And so I realized I couldn't cover politicians anymore because my job was to cover politicians. I was covering a press conference, I was covering political rallies, and I said I can't stand politicians. So I quit my job, and I said I'm going to travel this country, showing images of the violence, so guys could actually engage with those pictures, and hoping that people are going to change their ways. But Kenyans
Ni wale.
kichwa ngumu sana. To change people's habits ni ngumu sana, because if you look at this country today and look at the leadership we have in this country, it's the same guys that we have been fighting over for the last 20, 30 years, and they have not changed our country, and I don't even understand how you still vote for them. So I became an advocate to preach peace and to try and use my pictures for civic education. That if I can be able to convince one voter not to vote tribally, and my job. Yeah.
Wow, Njeri, how did this guy drag you into all this, this wars that he fights, and most of the time get him into trouble? How did you get yourself into this?
So first, I was not dragged into this. When I met Boni, our very first date, it had absolutely, I didn't know this guy.
Okay.
Mi niliona tu mse na bike.
Ulipenda
Akanikunywa. I was like, whoa. He invited me for a date. Who would say no to that? Something, it was like a dream.
Okay.
So I went out with him, and I remember the first conversation we had, he told me about how he grew up. Me, tuseme tu kweli, I grew up on this other side of, inaitwa? Uhuru Highway.
Uri de Maburu.
Ulikuwa ile side nyingine.
Me nili grew up Umo, Buru. My life was, it was okay.
All right.
But then I met Boni, who took me literally, handheld me, akaniambia, come and show you something. Akanipeleka to the other side of life. And for me, that that reality hit me really hard. And I felt like I'd been living a very ignorant life, not knowing about realities of a lot of people. Yeah. So when he showed me that, and when he told me about what he wishes and what he would want for this country, I was like, wow. Manzi umsi. Yo. And that's what brought me in, because I was like, if this guy... I was standard.
Ilikuwa standard.
Ulikuwa naishi?
Kwa SQ bado.
Kwa SQ yako?
Ilikuwa natoka SQ.
Wapi uko?
One room.
Hapo Rosaveni, ilikuwa naishi kwa SQ. Karum kamoja, hapo nalipeleka udem.
Huku? This side of town?
Yes. Cheki, mimi nimelelewa mtaa. Huyu demo Buru. Njeri, the first poor person she ever met was me.
Met new.
The first poor person.
Like, ile life yenye nilisha Njeri kwa dhani ni sinema.
What?
Because me, I see these things in movies, and I read them in storybooks, these things, ni vitu za kusoma, za kuwatch kwa movie, but I didn't know anyone who'd lived like that.
Wow.
Call me ignorant, sorry.
Akakuconvince ukaingia box and die.
Let me tell you, I don't think there was much convincing. My heart just...
Alinihurumia kanipenda.
Hapana, huwezi sema hivyo. My heart just, I was like, umse anania, akona vision, na anataka kuchange things. Hapo sasa ndio nikaanza kuslide back, I'm like,
marry them.
So Boni,
zima mic ya huyu, sema kidogo.
So nikuulize. Sasa hiyo alikuwa anakuambia anataka kuchange nini?
Alikuwa anasema, cause he didn't have a place alikuwa anaita home. Walikuwa na move sana. So he wanted people to have a place they can call home.
Okay.
He also wanted people to be able to access school, because alikuwa go through a lot of problems. He wanted people to have a decent meal. As in zilikuwa vitu basic, I'm like, kuna mtu fikiria vitu basic hivi? Because me, hizo sio shida zangu at that point. Yeah? Me, I had not lived a life where I needed to worry about those things. But there are people who live lives worrying about those kinds of things. And he brought me to that place where I'm like, wow, that's an issue. And I was like, sasa mimi nataka watu wa kwa level yangu. You get? Boni kama wali grow up hivyo, and for him he said kuna watu wengi wase tumegrow now wamedie, crime, alcohol, suicide. I'm like, wow, manzi. And that's a lot of people. And from me where I come from, that's not my story.
Kila kitu iko sawa.
Vitu ziko sawa. Yeah, I don't come from a wealthy family, sijui. No, I'm just what you would call a middle class, you know, average citizen. Kwa hivyo, I was like, kama tunaweza inua as many people as possible, wakwe na a decent lifestyle. Wanaweza, kila mtu anakwake, unakula fiti,
watu hiyo wanaenda shule.
You know, but I want to be a part of that. Yeah, so he didn't suck me into it. It's my heart just wanted to do the things that he wanted to do.
And how are you going to do this? These dreams that you're ulikuwa unaambia njerizi vitu zina kadi movie. What was the things that were going through your mind, Boni? Yani unasema, these are the things that I must do.
So mimi grew kwa mtaa, and I grew when Moi was president. Hizo siku nilikuwa ukiwa kijana na una ID unashikwa, which something actually happens even today. So a lot of police harassment. So my whole idea was, how do you mobilize people to speak for themselves? But I wasn't really an activist. Nilikuwa tu nabonga tu story.
Yeah.
Nilikuwa napiga tu vya mistari, unajua lazima kupiga mistari za future. Because kama unashikwa SQ, lazima unainvishwa kuishi better. So unapiga
unamwambia siku moja.
Siku moja, so ndio aone kuna place unaenda. Sasa unamge roadmap, but as from a young age, actually, I really wanted to become a leader. Like, I really wanted to actually lead people and help people grow. Because when I grew up, in Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. So, I was radicalized when I was young. The problem was, when I became older and I got into trouble, my mother taught me to be silent. He said, cowards go home to their mothers. So become a coward, Boniface.
You'll always go back to your mother.
You go back to your mother, because people who were speaking out, you ended up in jail, or they were killed during most times.
Torture chambers, all that kind of
and
thing.
People were going to jail. So my mother told me, watu wenye uongea sana ndio ungekuwa no. Why tulia. So that cowardice was actually inculcated in me. Nisibonge. But post-election violence pushed me to speak.
Wow.
So kuna nilikuwa sema, by the way, you know, you're all going to die. But that culture of cowardice is actually what affects our country today, because most of our parents during Moi days, those dark days, were very quiet. Wako na bonga. So they brought up kids in their own house to become cowards. Unapata mtu anapigwa pale na watu wanaangalia tu bana msaidie. Because hiyo cowardice kwenda huko madhako jioni. Yeah.
And that's how Team Courage was born.
That's how Team Courage was born. It's trying to instill people patriotism and confidence to do the right thing. The whole idea for Team Courage is to encourage you to become an active citizen, to do something for your community, to do something for your society, to do something for your country. And you don't have to be a protester or an activist in the streets. You can do small things.
Just
man.
small things.
Yeah, from where you are.
Just don't litter.
Usiteme mate ovyo ovyo. Usikojea kwa barabara.
Just doing the right thing.
Just doing the right thing, yeah. Because Kenya tajengwa na sisi. You know, there's a desire by Kenyans to see a new Kenya. But now, that new Kenya, who will live there? Because we ourselves don't have those habits for the new Kenya. Because yes, we might say that we have very bad leaders, that's fine. But do we have the Kenyans we want for the new Kenya?
Wow.
Do you have those Kenyans?
Before you start questioning the leaders,
yes,
you yourself,
yes,
as a person,
are you that Kenyan that you want for the new Kenya?
Wow.
But also, who's building this Kenya?
That's true.
Because if you're saying, oh, you guys, you need to do this and that, and then you take a back seat, mmekana huko mnangoja kuletewa ticket na mwambwe ndio ile basi pandeni tuende Kenya mpya, who's building that new Kenya?
Wow.
We have to be the ones to build it.
And the Team Courage gets you in all the trouble that you don't even know.
Yeah.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Him, I think, is now used to it.
Yeah, the kind of trouble.
Do you sometimes just pray that I hope my husband come back home?
Sometimes. All the time.
All the time?
All the time. Even today, even like, kama hatungekuwa pamoja, I'm just, I hope this guy comes home.
Wow.
Because we know what has been happening and we've had enough threats. So you just hope that he'll come home. Kwanza nikiona hiyo gedha, I'm like,
Mkona nani na uko wapi?
Sijui nipige simu ama asipochukua sasa. No, I'm not that. Before nilikuwa nashikilia simu hivi like a 16-year-old waiting for her boyfriend to call. But we've also learned to communicate very well. So ananiambia kule yuko, akona nani, simu yake karibu kuzima, nimpate through this number na kule yuko. So if I know akikaa sana, I know who to call and I know where to go. Ngikuja hapa mniambia alikuwa hapa, alikuwa na nani, alitoka saa ngapi?
Utajua pale utampata.
Nitakaa nijue ulisikia kusema nenda wapi, okay. I know where to, you know. Yeah, so we've established a good communication.
Ever landed you in?
Wow. Well, no, I can't say he's landed me per se into problems. There's a time and I think that scene is in the film. The police were arresting him.
Wow.
And I was with him. And I thought we had to that time they walitupoa to 17.
MPs.
They threw in 17 people. I was there. Nilikuwa nimemshika hivi. If you see even in the film, even those clips of back then. Walinisukuma nje. Yes. Walinisukuma nje. And please note, walingisha watu 17. So that I would have been the 18th one. Nilikuwa mpaka hapo kwa mlango. Wakanisukuma nje wakaambia wewe rudi nyumbani.
Toka hapa.
Yeah, I was like,
usiingizwe kwa hizi vitu.
Okay. Bwana na bibi pamoja.
I was like, there's like a conscience somewhere that tells you that wacha mmoja arudi nyumbani kwa watoto. And that struck me for hours. They're okay, and maybe it makes them feel better that huyu wamerudisha mzazi mmoja nyumbani. Huyu wakifanya vile watafanya naye ni sawa, lakini kuna mzazi amerudi nyumbani.
Wow. How many protests have you led?
Too many.
Are they all in the
film? No. The film's not even about the protest. It's about the movement.
The movement.
Yes.
Team Curry.
And the struggle.
The struggle. Yeah. You know.
But there are these very outstanding.
The pigs are there.
Yeah.
The coffins. You know, one of the things that people don't understand is that when you do a protest, it's like come on one day you show up and then you do a protest. But for you to be able to pull it off, there are many things that go behind the scenes. And then after the cameras are off and you go back home, you have to become a father, you have to become a husband, and the struggles people go through as activists. And so when you watch the film, you can see the heavy price that some people have paid for this country to be where it is today. Yeah.
So let me ask you, in the movie Softie, how much acting is there?
No acting, zero.
None.
There's zero acting.
There's no acting.
Everything is real time.
It's real time.
Acting, actually.
It's raw. I don't know how you can
actually me I watched it.
How raw is it?
It's so raw. It's so visceral. As in, it's so raw. Like for example, Jerry giving birth. That wasn't acting, and it's in the film.
What do you mean? You had a camera there.
I filmed her giving birth. Yeah.
But it was not actually for the intention of a film. It was just the way you're documenting your own lives.
Your own lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you went in there and the whole story is there.
And the story is
that
there.
is your firstborn?
Yes.
That's our firstborn. Yes.
What is his name?
His name is Nate Simpiwe.
Yeah?
Nate
Simpiwe.
Simpiwe. That's a South African name.
Yeah, Simpiwe, which means God's gift.
Then given to us. God's gift given to us.
God's gift given to us.
Yes.
And then
Simpiwe.
Yes.
Second one is called Naila Sifa. Naila is Arabic for successful.
Naila is like my daughter.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
My daughter is called Naila.
Which means achiever successful. And then the last one is called Jabali Mboya.
Jabali Mboya.
Named after Tom Mboya.
After Tom Mboya.
It's interesting. For him, he's very clear that, which is true, that it's Jabali Mboya, and the name he picks out is Mboya. And for me, it's also Jabali because that boy, he's my rock.
Jabali for the rock.
Yeah.
Mboya for
freedom fighter.
Yeah.
The freedom fighter.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did dad, mom feel you taking a low name?
Zima hapo kidogo.
Nilikuwa naulizwa Boya Nedo. What is that?
Boya K.
Nedo, Neke.
It was very difficult, especially for my parents, because according to the Kikuyu culture, the first boy and girl are named after his parents, and then the second boy and the second girl are named after her parents.
Yes.
And so you can imagine
So
the shock on my dad.
This was the only chance for your dad to
This
have.
was the chance, yeah.
Only for the activists to decide that
But we actually fought in the hospital about it.
Boni sneaked up. Mi nilikuwa najua vile naandikisha hizo majina. It was a win-win. Alafu nikastukia it's okay, I already got the names. I'm like, okay, uko na names gani? Nikaambiwa, I'm like, this is when we're about to leave. I'm like, no, I need to change that name. I need to add a name. Nikaambiwa, ishaenda Sheria House. Ni wapi zinapelekangwa? I was like, oh God.
So
I need to change it.
Jabali Mboya.
Yeah, and he's a
Is happy about it?
Yes.
He
yeah.
wouldn't. He
Like,
doesn't know
he
it.
He
otherwise.
still doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yes,
With
but-
time, he will come to
but
know.
when he
But
was-
I think he'll be very
there's
happy.
a street named after him, Tomboya Street.
I
and
think
he's still
he'll be-
young.
he'll be so happy about it.
Yeah, because what he did actually, so from the word go when you met, I never thought I was going to marry a Kikuyu girl.
All right.
And it's true. It's true. As in, because I was never like, I was not looking for a Kikuyu girl to fall in love with.
All right.
And then I fell in love with her. But I made a choice from the word go that our kids do not have Kikuyu names because we want our kids to have names that are representative of other cultures and other people. Because this country, we judge you by your last name.
Yeah, that's true.
And it shouldn't be that way.
Wow. And it's something that we're still fighting and fighting
Yeah,
today.
certainly.
And it doesn't make sense. Like for example, when you go and panda matatu, you don't ask what tribe is the driver or the makanga. If you go to the hospital before you're treated, you don't ask the doctor what tribe you are. So why does it matter when someone is going to vote what tribe that person is? We should be looking more for the people's character, not their tribe.
Wow.
But this kind is so tribal, it hurts. Because right now, if you look at our leadership, when they do formations as Kisis, as Luos, as Kikuyu. It doesn't make any sense. Because today, in this country, there's no place you're going to go and be told, this is the bank of Kikuyus or the bank of Luos. And so you can't go and withdraw money from a bank because I'm a Kikuyu. Actually, unless I have money in that account, I can't be given any money. So why do we still think that if your person becomes president, and this person means your tribal kingpin or queen becomes president, you're going to become rich? It's a lie. Kikuyus, this country actually, the most poorest people actually are Kikuyus. If you go to the most slums in Nairobi, are full of Kikuyus. You go to the jails in this country, full of Kikuyus. You go to Konanga Street or wherever it is, prostitutes, most of them are Kikuyus. Most of the people poor in this country are Kikuyus. And guess what? Jomo Kenyatta I was president for 13 years. Kibaki was president for 10 years. Uhuru has been there for 7 years. That's 30 years combined. How come the Kikuyus are very poor? They're very poor. So that means this story about your person becoming president, they're going to become rich is a lie.
Sanitize. Sanitize. How long is the film?
It's 96 minutes.
96 minutes.
Yes, it's
All right.
96.
Could you just take us through the journey of the film, so that Mutu, by the way, all of us, this guy sent me a link to watch this movie. I told him I'm not those kind of people who you send a link to. Number one, I don't want to be a spoiler. I needed to do this interview without me watching. But then again, my whole team and the whole crew of Jalango TV,
Yes.
I'll be buying tickets
Nice.
so that
Thank
we
you.
can come to watch
Thank
it.
you.
And that is the only way we are able to support art.
Thank you.
So it will make no sense that as a creative like me,
Yeah.
knowing what it takes to create a film, would want a link or we request for a complimentary to come and sit and watch the work done. I would be doing no justice. So before you guys leave here, we'll buy tickets, 20 of them,
Thank you.
so
Asante.
that we can come and watch.
Nashukuru
And
sana.
also push guys to go actually and watch it.
Yes.
All right. Take us through just a bit of the synopsis of the journey
Hey,
today.
synopsis.
Kidogo tu, tupe tu kakitu.
I think we've already mentioned it. We said it's about the journey of Kenya, and it starts out that way. You see, ideally, this film was about an activism manual. So the director, Sam Soko, was doing with Boni, just waonyeshe vile activism, protest fanywa, and that was initially it. Then it slowly transitions into, we had a conversation with him, and then he was like, ala, now damn, you struggle. She's part of this, but not. You don't see her, but she's really a part of this. So slowly your story come into the family space. You see the children, you see our relationship, you see some of the struggles, some of the fears, and then inaendelea when he goes for elections, also the threats that have come to us as a family, how we've dealt with some of them. And then it goes into elections, and Kenyans will be able to see themselves and hear themselves. And then it goes back to us as a family and how we have survived. I guess that's the right word. We've survived through all those times, and where we are at least by the time that film was being edited and completed.
Before you released the film, definitely you had a message you wanted to pass. If a Kenyan watched this, if somebody, what would be like your success story from one person watching this movie? Mtu akiwatch tu hivi, sema bas, that is what I wanted to pass.
That they will never sell their vote and they'll never sell their voice, because you have a habit of this country of betraying people. So for example, if I was if I was running for MP and then I got elected and have a mandate from the people, instead of serving the people, I go serve other masters. And so the whole idea is actually that there are people in this country who have refused to sell out, and so don't sell out. And when it comes to voting, your vote matters. Kenyans don't value their votes. Kenyans, they vote, then they wait for another 5 years to hold the leaders accountable. But the work of holding the leaders accountable should be continuous. So when you vote, you need to ensure that the person that you've elected has done their work for the next 5 years. I also hope that Kenyans, and I say this a lot, that it's not God's work to fight for this country. It's neither will Jesus or Muhammad come and fight for this country. It is the responsibility of every single citizen to fight for this country. There is no Messiah who is coming to fight for us. You're your own Messiah for this country. And so let us leave God out of our politics and our problems, because it's not God to blame, neither is the devil. This country, when you go to vote, leaders are God chosen. It's a lie. God doesn't choose leaders. We vote for those leaders. God doesn't have a voter's card, neither does the devil. So you can't blame God or the devil for the problems in this country, or what is ailing our country. And beyond that, when you talk about God and the devil, you blame them for no good reason, because there's no God's bank or devil's bank. There's not a deed in this country with the devil's name or God's name. So where we bring in God in these conversations. So I'm a Christian who prays and believes in God, but I think we need to remove God from the problems of this country, because God doesn't have a voter's card.
So our problems are definitely our leaders.
And we're the
And
ones who
us.
elect them, and us.
And us.
Because those leaders do not elect themselves, and they don't love themselves. They're the ones who love
What
and
if
elect
I
them.
would just say that, you know what, a new leader will come up.
Yeah.
We all want them to do something, right?
Yes.
We go vote for them.
Yes.
Then they totally change.
That doesn't mean you stop believing that one day you'll elect the right leader.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you can't afford to lose hope. There's something that William Tunga told me the other day, and he told me, you don't have to choose between evil and lesser evil. Why are you choosing evil? Find another thing that is not evil. So don't say, afadhali usimbaya na ule usimbaya. No, don't choose between evil and lesser evil. Say, we don't want any evil leaders, and look for the good leader.
Jalas, you're given 3 jars of water. One is a small jar, and the other 2 are just about the same size. Hii mbili iko na maji chafu. Hii ndogo iko na maji safi. Unasema badala kunywa maji safi, heri ni kunywa hii maji chafu.
Juni
Why?
mingi.
Juni mob.
Doesn't make sense.
That's what we do. Because you can see clearly that this is very dirty water. And here you have a kamaji safi. This one will probably, it will not harm you. It will quench your thirst. These other ones, chances of you getting sick are almost 100%.
Why,
But you still choose to take the dirty
why do
water.
we keep saying that we must elect bad people? For example, if today I came and told you you're looking for a house girl or a house boy, and then I tell you the person that I want you to employ is a rapist or a murderer and a thief, will you employ them in your house?
No.
So why do you elect those kind of people to go to represent you?
Wow. Then you are in the ballot box once. Last elections.
Yes, I was. I tried to give Kenyans a choice, and they chose someone else, and I hope he's working for them. He's my MP. He's my
He's your MP.
Because I'm a Starehe.
You come from
Voter.
you in Starehe vote. You're a Starehe voter and
Yes,
everything.
so he's my MP.
What had pushed you to run for office?
Because Starehe is my hood. I grew up in Starehe, and I thought if I was elected, I was going to offer them a chance to work for them. Like I was going to work for the people of Starehe. And they gave me 14,000 votes plus, and they funded my campaign. So I got some love from the people of Starehe. South B was my main area where they gave me the most votes. But the reason I was actually vying, I wanted to go and reclaim stolen playgrounds. I wanted to build libraries in the community. I just want to show them that you can actually be a leader without stealing, and you can be a leader and serve the people. Yes.
So how much bribe did you use?
I did not bribe anyone, and that's why you need to watch the film. You'll see how people are bribed, actually. There's bribery in the film, but it's not me doing the bribing, it's someone else.
There's somebody actually anapatiana.
Anapatiana mapesa, yeah. Actually,
Enda Starehe ulize watu wenye walikula pesa ya Boni.
kuna mlikula pesa ya Boni.
Enda ujiulizie, at least that one.
Yeah, I gave you money.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I was asking people for money. They don't have money. I'm not a rich person.
I gave you money, but
Yes.
but truth be told, Boni,
Yeah.
how are you thinking? Eh? You could not even just twist kidogo tu utuambie tu mazee Jalas.
Yeah.
Kuna vijana kwa ground yenyewe tuachie kakitu bro.
Kakitu nilikakataa. By the way, you know they shamed me they told me that I'm poor. Peleka umaskini huko. Toka hapa because I did not give them money. Nimekataa kutoa lock, tukaenda kununua pombe. People were upset with me, but I'm like, if I bribe you for you to vote for me, when I get to parliament, I'm not going to go and work for you. I'm going to recover my money.
That's the first thing we'll do.
That's what people do. That's the reason wanaiba pesa ya CDF na pesa ya mileage allowance, because they are not going there to work for people. And that's the reason you need to understand, as long as you're selling your vote, that person will not work for you. Why would I bribe you for you to give me a job? Why would I do that? Doesn't make any sense.
And when he told you that he's running for office?
Well, he's told me this 3 times. Twice, not twice. The first time I said no. By the way, Wezi. Because our son was very young. Our youngest was very young.
It was
Actually,
2013,
in 2013, I said, you can't, because this thing is just going to take you away completely. And he was already busy. But I knew it was coming.
It was coming.
I knew it was coming. I was just like, just not now, not this time. So, of course, the second time he told me, I was like, he told me so close to the elections, I had kind of thought maybe he's not going to do this. But then when we were doing the registration, I wanted to register, you know. Then he tells me, Apple, by the way, I've decided,
I'm running.
Ninasimama. What? I was completely shocked because I thought the time alikuwa na contemplate ishapita, and he's already decided that he's not. I mean, it's kind of too late now to say that you are. Then he just announced it to me, just hapo tu hivyo tu, ni kama situpiti hapa kwa nini tuchukue kanyama. Announce very casually, exactly. And so, even though I had seen it coming, I was like, this is not a nika proposal. This is not the way you see it coming. Mnakunywa tena nakwambia, by the way, yeah.
Will you marry me?
Yeah, that's not how you envision it.
Bonnie, yes, the people of Starehe didn't give you money, but
no votes.
They
did not elect me.
Yeah, did not elect you because you didn't give them money.
Yes,
and maybe you didn't have money to give them. All right, and you didn't want to bribe anyone.
Yes,
but these streets are not silent about where you get your money. People say that you get funded from so many people who are injured. You have some few NGOs left and right. So pesa ya activists.
It's a beautiful lie. It's a beautiful lie because you know, people have to justify why they're not fighting for this country, and they have to say other people are paid to do that. I tell people I live in this country. I don't own a bank, which means a bank in banks that are in Kenya. And if I was getting any money, by now you should have known. Like the government would have either frozen my account or told you who those people fund me, who they are. I don't run the Kenya Police or the National Intelligence Service and the CID. If there was anything like that, they would have actually exposed me. You see, people must justify why they don't take a stand. And it's mudslinging, actually. So people tarnish your reputation. And what's so heartbreaking is actually the people who they elect and pay with their salaries, because Kenyans pay MPs with their salary, pay MP salaries with their taxes, rather. The people that you elect into power and you pay them salaries, you don't even hold them accountable. I am a private citizen who fights for a better country. I'm not paid by anyone. And I wish I was being paid, because it would be very nice. I would be living in my own house. I live in a rented house. I would be driving a Prado. I drive a very old car. My car is 20 years old.
Tunagopanga tutapata insurance.
By the way,
you stay loyal with your insurance.
And the book value of that car is 500,000 shillings. I wish, my friend, I wish I was being paid.
So you see, people say that the only woman who knows where the husband is and what the husband does is Lulu Hassan, because they read the news with the husband there. So maybe you can tell us, what other business do you do?
I'm a photographer. I'm a very good photographer. I'm a trainer. I train activists. I travel to speak. Yeah, and I help people strategize for their campaigns. For example, if you have a brand, like the brands that I actually advise, if you're doing a campaign on any issue and you want it to get any mileage and all that, I help you do strategy. So I'm a strategist, actually, and I'm an award-winning photographer. As a photographer, actually, when I used to get a lot of work, my day rate is between 60 to 90,000 a day.
Wow.
Yeah. So as a photographer, I know you charge $1 million shillings to MC. So you see, you can't say wow.
No, he can say wow. He's like, oh,
kidogo sana. Kama unaona uko ligi nyingine. When I grow up, Jalango will be.
Yeah.
Really?
Unakula mshahara ya MP in 2 days.
Unachoma.
Sanitize maneno.
Waje wale patia wife yake gift ya nini ya birthday? Range Rover.
Kamini nyenyekea.
Ungewa comedian. You're looking for a second wife.
Well, I'm not looking for a second husband. Niko too sour.
How do the kids come in the film, by the way? Because on the cover photo, we see everybody, the whole family is there.
Yeah.
I think
are they part of the movie?
They are part of the movie because, like I said, from the time they were born, unaona Nate tukiwa hosi, and when Bonnie is working, we are also there. Either mtoya amekuja amekaa na baba yake, ama amekujia maji, ama alikuwa amekaa hapo nimemkujia. So you see us from the beginning, we're very present. And then as the children have grown, which you see, the director alikuwa anakam, anabonga na Nate, kidogo akomali akina Naila wako, kidogo tumeenda mahali kani, you know, for lunch, ama tumeenda kuvisit, kucheza ball na watu. He's present. So you see them. So director alikuwa na access to me personally, you know, and when I say access, ni ati nilitikia kubonga na story. I probably would not have talked to anyone else about because we are also very good friends. He's very good friends with Bonnie. He's very good friends with the kids. Wakitaka kubonga na mtu, you will say, can I go and talk to Soko? I'm like, yeah. Can I go for a enda? Because najua watabonga na Soko, pia atabonga nao, you know, like a dad.
Wow.
So we have that very good relationship. So aliweza ku get a lot of stories, lakini pia he was able to cover us kwa sababu he was present for so many things, all good, bad, scary. There's a particular time, our last born akigraduate kutoka kindergarten. Of course, that's like the best day of his life, right?
Yes.
He's all dressed up. It's a fine day. Get certificate, there's presentations and all. Amefurahi sana. That day kulikuwa na protest.
Wow.
Tao. Nikamwambia, by the way, mimi hapa sijali, ni lazima ukue present for your son. I mean, this happens once. Kwa hivyo, protest itaendelea with or without you, ni lazima ukamshule. So ilikuwa hapa Nairobi Chapel. So akakam, alafu akaniambia, Akinjeris, you just let me go. Nikamwambia, because mtu amekuona, it's almost over, ni sawa ishia. So the guy goes, then tulikuwa na Soko hapo. I get a phone call. No, he gets a phone call. Tumeshamaliza mtu yeye anakula sijui tu snacks nini. Akaongea very one word responses. It was like a minute long. It was a very odd conversation. Juu alikuwa tu na mom. Alafu hiyo story kaisha, nikamwambia sawa. Nikamcheki na jaribu kuread vitu hakuna. Mimi nikapanda gari yangu na mtoi tukaenda home. Lakini just after we left, nika call mse walikuwa na Boni. Alikuwa amepanic. Kamuuliza ni nini? Protest imeisha. Akaniambia kinda tumetawanyishwa. Kasema wameshika watu hapana. Kuna mtu ameumia. Wameumiza watu. Kasema akapose. Ushai feel? Akasema yeah. Wangapi aje? Akasema mtu mmoja. I'm like, what? You know the way you just know. The way you just know. Akasema ati ni Boni. Ni nini ime happen? Wamemshoot. Kwa driver seat uko na mtoi hapo. Jealous.
What?
Now what? I hung up, nika call Soko, nikamwambia you knew. Kaniambia I'm sorry yeah. Alinicall akaniambia hivyo, but I didn't know any more details, so I didn't want to tell you anything. Nikamwambia do hivi, call back uambie nobody calls me. Nobody tells me anything. Kama amedai, kama ako ICU, kama ako kwa ambulance, kama I don't care. Wewe ndio unaniambia hiyo story. I can only hear it from you. Kwa hivyo make sure nisipigiwe mtu na simu. Na mtu yeyote simu. And then I get out of the car. My son was asleep. I just felt like I couldn't breathe. Nikatoka kwa gari, kwa bypass, nika chill. Alafu nikaingia kwa gari, nikaenda home, nikasettle watoi. Hawana any idea what's happening. Nikamwambia I have to go to town na come. Na nikaishia. Imagine I never made it to town. I called this one, wakaniambia wako hosi. Nikasikia akiongea wakicheka. Nikaenda salon. Nikaenda nikasema tengeneza kila kitu, massage nini. I could handle it.
Uni bwanaka amepigwa gani na?
I'm like I don't know this guy, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm
So
not
when ulipiga
ready.
ukasikia sauti yake ukasema wa?
Nikasema I think ako poa.
Huyo ako vipi?
Anaongea as in plus ni yeye mwenyewe ameshika simu.
Alafu jina hii movie inaitwa Softie.
Inaitwa Softie.
Wow. Is that the worst injury you've ever had in a protest?
I think so, because I had to go for surgery like a year later. I went for surgery last year. Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Last year.
So I shot with the tear gas canister on close range. The guy pushed me, then he shot me. So that thing can actually kill you.
Yeah.
So it can develop to assist ikakuwa even my left boobs this side is big.
Unafanya jalasa na shinda.
Yeah, so I had to go for surgery. That's the worst, but there are other injuries that actually happen that you can't talk about. Kuchomea anje kuharibika, but every time you go to a protest, you go home with an injury or you go home with trauma. Because
does it get to a point you get used to it?
No,
you
know, actually, I get scared of police officers. They traumatize me. As in me, when a police inaanza kusikia kitu tu kwa mwili. That uniform has, there's so much trauma in my life because I've seen police kill people. I've been beaten by police officers. I've been abused by police officers. So it never gets easier. I think until I die, it will never get easier unless the police reform. Because even my kids fear police officers.
Because they've seen it all.
They've seen it all, and I don't understand. You know, like in other countries, you find that police officers are your neighbors. In this country, you don't even know a police officer is your neighbor. Wanaishi tu kwa barracks. They have a very colonial mentality on how they deal with the citizens, and it has created such bad blood between citizens and police that no one likes police officers. No one.
Wow. So the film opened yesterday or the day before?
On 16th, on Friday.
Friday.
On Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
How many people came for the launch?
On Friday was full house. It was sold out.
Sold out.
Two theaters.
Two theaters at Prestige. Yeah.
At Prestige.
Yes.
So right now the movie is being screened where and where?
Prestige. Then there's Donholm Mall, Greenspan, in Doni.
Anga. No, sorry, yeah.
Donholm Prestige.
Donholm Prestige.
No, Donholm Greenspan Mall, then Prestige, then Diamond, Plaza Parklands, Anga. Then there's from Thursday it's in Eldoret. Unfortunately, Kisumu Theatre is still closed and Mombasa Theatre is still closed. We'd like to take it there. Then kuna wasea wa Thika Road. What's the name of that Thika Road?
Garden City.
Garden City. Wamekata kuweka movie yetu, sijui kwa nini, waulize. You know it's very important that you support local films.
So wamekata ni akina nani?
Hata sijui mwenyewe ni nani. Kama budako ndio mwenye hiyo mall ama hiyo movie, hiyo theater, simtuweke tu movie yetu.
Wasi wa Thika Road pia wajibamba.
People want to watch the film. It's a very good film actually. It's a Kenyan story. So put the film in a screen tafadhalini. Tunawaomba.
Is it also happening at your place?
Power, no.
Power?
No, but we hope that eventually, because the people who can never go to the theater and they can access cinemas, we're going to take it to the community. Actually, we'd like to it on a local TV station, if they agree. So either whichever station in this country that it feels they can run the movie, would be happy to host it there. We are talking to Ezekiel Motua, Joleka movie to adults only. Alisema if iko na watu ya mama teenagers. So we're trying to get that to be reviewed to go to at least 13 years old. Yeah.
Wow, si tupe pia Jalango TV.
Jalango TV pia
tuweke pale.
Lakini sasa tuweke kwa YouTube. Tuweke kwa YouTube.
Mbona mtaki kuweka YouTube?
Sasa nikuulize, kwa YouTube mwenye alimake cinema atakula nini?
Okay, kitu kama hiyo.
Lazima akule.
What are the people's feeling the first time watch wanatoka nje? You know, everybody, you know how when guys walk out, they always say something about the film.
I've never seen people cry, as in watu walilia, like the theater was crying. I don't know why. I've watched that movie twice. And
but you've also cried.
Yes.
We've also cried.
And
nani life yetu?
Ai unalia jo. Nataka watch.
This is why.
Nataka on the big screen, search kwa TV, search kidogo. And I do theater watch.
Yani tu home kwangu ni watch.
Hapana.
Enda kwa theater. Like
also utafeel.
Nani amesema sina theater?
Sorry. Sorry. MC.
I walk into that. I walk into that.
Umejichimbia.
No. So it's much better on
a big screen.
On a big screen.
Yeah.
So which one would you prefer that I watch it at? Me and my crew would like to go and watch it.
So from here, either Prestige is closer to you.
Yeah.
Prestige.
Yes.
Prestige.
And
So
you can
me
go
and
to
my
the-
whole crew, we are going to go in there,
Yeah.
and we'll take photos, and we'll tell everyone to go out there. And please, if you allow me to also do a review later,
Yes,
That
yes,
would be
yes,
great.
yes.
later, so that we can always.
And you can come to Kiss too on Thursday and talk to you about the film.
Okay, by the way,
Yes.
I'll talk
After
to
you watch the film, you can come.
after I've watched it.
Yes.
Sindio?
After you watched it.
Yes.
Because the thing is, hizo unasema ati how do you feel? How do people feel? It's
So-
a
so
roller
that I
coaster
can
of
have that
emotions.
feeling.
That feeling.
Yes.
feeling.
Wewe niambie vile ulifeel.
Really, really feel.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, this is an amazing conversation with Boni and Jerry. Definitely one of the most amazing Kenya stories of love, pride, and just loving this nation, doing something different. And all this has been documented in an amazing film called Softie that is now showing in each and every single cinema hall apart from Garden City.
Na Junction.
Junction pia
Pia
wamele-
nikataa kuweka sinema yetu.
Same was up.
WhatsApp group. But all said and done, make sure that whoever has accepted for us to have this film out there, just go watch and see Kenya in a different way. Boni and Jerry have a quick place that they are running to, and definitely I would still want to host you in another forum. Kama huyu ako home too.
Muulize maswali zingine hapo naona.
Maswali tu mingi. But I just want to, guys, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you.
And making sure that you share this story with us. And even as you guys go, we promise that we'll push for people to go and watch out for Softie.
Asante sana for having us.
On this camera,
Oja kwa kule matumbo.
chakula iko tayari, but on this camera, what would you like to tell guys?
I think Kenya is our responsibility, people. We can't delegate the fight to activists and other people. We have to fight for our country. So when you watch Softie, I hope that you're going to get inspired to speak courage fluently.
Wow. You, tukimalizia.
Ukicheki movie, I hope you see yourself, and I hope you see what you can do differently. People need support as a family, as a country. Hii Kenya tutajenga pamoja. It's not one person's responsibility, it's not just mine. Mimi naweza jenga place small. Lakini tukiungana tujenge hii Kenya, tutaget ile Kenya tunataka. Vile iko sahi, imagine we built it. If we want better, we have to do better, we have to be better. Alafu tuta-elect leaders better, because that's what we're building together. So I hope when you watch this film, you, like you said, you will be inspired to action, not just a feeling, uta inspire you into some action, and that you will actually go and do it. Yeah. And please watch it.
We are at almost 250,000 subscribers.
Wow.
If only 50,000 of us could go out there and watch this movie, it would be a very big thing. At least you would have changed somebody, or you would change yourself, how you see things out here. From us here, happy Mashujaa Day. This is Jalango TV.
Thank you.
Good.